This is Young 360 reporting from an empty park. Today we're gonna find out how intelligent Autel Evo 2 Pro is. And first you can see all these obstacles. So I want to test out the obstacle avoidance in a bit more detail to show you guys what these 12 visual sensors can detect. And about this accessories, it's a new accessory for my Rode Wireless Go microphone. And I thought it's kind of cute. So you can get the best mic sound from me as it's pointing directly to my lips, so that I can ensure that you hear me crystal clear. And it gets sort of camouflaged to my jacket, so it shouldn't distract you too much. So let me not waste any more time and let's just fly. First, I was going straight at the tree trunks, and you can see clearly that the visual radar system recognizes all these obstacles. At about 4 meters onwards, the drone slowed down significantly. From 3 meters, when I really pushed the drone forward, then it stopped at 2.5 meters away from the obstacle. It's also the same when I go into the thick pine tree branch. And at a very thin branch here, it still recognizes the object, so it doesn't move forward any further than 2.5 meters away from the obstacle. By the popular request, I attempted in testing against the wires. Beyond 5 meters, the visual system seemed to recognize a bunch of power cables. However, really near the wires, I didn't think the visual system recognized the wires. So always be cautious with that. So now I'm gonna fly it towards me and see whether it will cut me in half or not. Yep, it recognizes it's stopped. Now it's time to test out the intelligent mode. And the first I wanna start is the dynamic track. So here I go on top of the menu and select the dynamic track. Hello, I'm going to lock myself inside a frame, and you can see how well Autel Evo 2 Pro tracks me. And what surprised me about dynamic track is that it likes to go at sort of similar height as me, so the drone ended up flying a bit lower than where it started. Well, it flies quite low as well. And I'm gonna go into the tree. Wow, okay. And it just flew that way. Good. I'm going by the tree. It will go that way. And even if a tree partially blocked me, drone still tracked me really well. Well, that was a fun experience. I almost thought the drone had life of its own, flying, and finding me and avoided all the obstacles. And it was actually following me quite closely as well. Some creative shots there. So next is the tripod track. So the tripod track, the aircraft is there. It will stay where it is, but will move around to follow the subject, which is me. As you can see, the camera will turn. Just make sure you stay inside the frame. And I think it's better if you put the drone a bit higher up, so you're always inside as to how much the camera can turn. Okay, so now it's time for parallel tracks. Let's try. And I'm ready. Let's record first. Double click on myself and I'll be driving. God, this is not so simple. There's a tree. One thing I notice about dynamic track is that you have to be actually quite near the subject. In this case, I was a bit far, so I couldn't actually lock myself and start the parallel track, which is part of dynamic track. Whereas if I brought the drone much closer to me, then it tracked me very well. Next is my favorite intelligent mode, Orbit. First, fly the drone directly above the subject of your video. So I'm gonna go right above this light in a stadium, and then press A button at the bottom of the RC. After setting the center, I just need to fly away the distance of the size of the radius that you want. And then press start, and then it will slowly move the drone around. What I really liked is that while you're filming, you have the full control of your video. You can lower the altitude, and what I find really helpful is the digital zoom. So far, I've been super impressed with the digital zoom of Autel Evo 2. 2 times, 3 times, even 4 times, you get lossless high quality zoom. And of course, you can punch in up to 8 times, and you can see the alphabet there pretty crystal clear. And you can change the style, standard, neutral, and land. And next, quickly, I want to show you the precision flight. Basically, it will limit the maximum speed and angular speed for finer control. I've now set the speed really low. I'm actually pushing the joystick to max, and it's not turning that fast. And the viewpoint, I've shown you guys last time as well. Basically, you just set the target and it will go in a straight line. So finally, the gesture mode. Gesture mode, there are 3 commands I just had to remember. First is you lock and unlock yourself by raising your hands over shoulder for more than 0.5 seconds. And then you can take a photo by opening your hands horizontally and parallel to the shoulders. And finally, for video recording, you just need to raise one hand. Although for me, it seemed to only really work with the right hand, and just wave at about 60 to 90 degrees. Very confused at the first attempt, so I was frantically waving. But in editing, I can really see it worked really well. Timelapse. In the very initial version of the app, there was an option. However, it seems like the engineers are still working on to fine-tune the time-lapse function to make it very, very smooth. And what I've heard from the company is that time-lapse function should be back sometime in May.
Oh, so cold, but a really fun day actually flying the drone and trying out all the intelligent mode. And I particularly really enjoy that orbit, especially the fact that Evo 2 does allow you to change the zoom, color, etc. while you're filming. You can get creative on the spot as you're filming. And what I particularly found it useful with the remote control is the pause button. You can always pause and continue to film as you're ready or not. Oh. As for dynamic track, I thought the vision sensor as well as tracking, especially when it's near me, worked really well. It avoided all the obstacles. It seemed a little bit like it had its own life, but still following me around. So if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to subscribe and like the video. And I'll come back with some other good reviews, so see you!